Bond. James Bond.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup! Sublime!
What are you using that for? I don't think it means what you think it means.
Tear me apart, Lisa!
But mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Hi friends, and welcome to another episode of You Haven't Seen That? A movie discussion podcast where we introduce our friend Ben to movies he should have seen a long time ago. I'm your host, Amanda.
I'm Geoff.
And I'm Ben.
And today we are discussing The Town. And stick around until the end. We'll be doing our top 4 things about Boston.
The Town. Doug McRae is a longtime thief who, smarter than the rest of his crew, is looking for his chance to exit the game. When a bank job leads to the group kidnapping an attractive branch manager, he takes on the role of monitoring her. But their burgeoning relationship threatens to unveil the identities of Doug and his crew to the FBI agent who is on their case. Released in September of 2010, the number one song in the country, Love the Way You Lie by Eminem and Rihanna.
Classic.
Yes.
Downton Abbey premiered in the UK. And Instagram launched during this time, right around this time. This movie was directed by Ben Affleck and stars Ben Affleck, Rebecca Hall, Jeremy Renner, John Hamm, Blake Lively, Pete Postlethwaite, our second movie with him, and Chris Cooper. With a $37 million budget, this movie grossed $154 million at the global box office. Pretty decent success. Fun fact, this movie had its United States premiere at Fenway Park. Fenway Park, excuse me. And it also opened number 1, narrowly beating Easy A, which also debuted this weekend. It was also then later dethroned the very next weekend to Wall Street Money Never Sleeps. This movie was very well received critically, with a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 74 on Metacritic. And this movie was nominated for a lot of awards, specifically in one category. Didn't really win at any of the major bodies, but at the Oscars, it was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Jeremy Renner, who lost to Christian Bale in The Fighter.
I bet you guys can guess which movie I was seeing this weekend.
I wonder.
Wall Street Money Never Sleeps.
Easy A.
I was going to say, I never saw this movie in theaters. This was at the time when I was a freshman in college and wasn't really going to the movies just willingly. I do remember, I think a couple weeks after this movie came out, a group of us on my floor went to go and see The Social Network, which came out shortly after this. We did a whole group trip for that, but we did not do anything for this.
With a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
For Social Network, that is.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're already kind of talking about our histories a little bit, but Ben, let's hear your history.
Yeah, I don't have much of a history. I know I picked this movie because I was curious about it, but I don't really remember it being out. I mean, I'm sure I knew it was out, but I didn't really have any real interest or attention to it. At the fall of 2010, I would have been just graduated college, and I was home, living at home, kind of, floating through life, not sure what I'm doing at the moment. And so I did see Social Network, as far as fall 2010 movies, but I wasn't going to see movies then, just like most of my life. So I didn't really ever have a connection to this or any real background with it.
And what about you, Geoff?
Yeah, never saw this movie in theaters. Only have seen it a couple of times or so over the last few years. I think the first time I watched it actually was a COVID discovery. I watched it in July of 2020. I think it just popped up on my Netflix feed, and that was the time when maybe I wasn't so focused in terms of what I wanted to watch, but instead was like, I wonder what's on TV. Okay, I'll pick this. So that's how I discovered The Town. Never really watched it on TV or anything like that beforehand. And I've only seen it one or two other times since.
I feel like you have so many movies that were COVID discoveries.
Oh yeah, I made so many COVID discoveries. Yeah. I did.
I have a lot of TV shows that were COVID discoveries.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
That was
what
when I
else?
like transitioned into like being really into prestige TV, and
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like so many shows I started then.
big time.
Yeah. What else was there to do? You finished work and you moved from your table to your couch and
Yep.
watched TV until it was time to go to bed.
I've often thought about, I have a 3-year-old now. I often thought about what that era would have been like with a 3-year-old.
Oh, for real.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Not envious of the parents out
It
there.
would have
That's for
probably
sure.
been less TV discoveries, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
For myself, I don't have a history with this movie at all. Didn't I actually thought this was a horror movie.
The
I mean,
poster looks a little bit that way with the nuns and
honestly, I didn't even see the poster.
Oh.
Like the town, it sounds like a horror movie, right? Like
yeah,
I feel like there actually is a horror movie that has a name very similar, right? Jeff?
probably. Well, there's The
Yes.
Village.
The Village? Maybe that's what I'm thinking
That's
of.
probably
Like,
it.
That's
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan.
yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking of. I don't know. But like when you picked this, I was like, oh no, scary movie.
Well, now that you mentioned that, though, I do remember seeing the poster and seeing the nuns, like them. It's a poster of them in the nun masks.
Yeah,
and I was
which is
like, and I
creepy.
remember they look kind of creepy, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was like the vibe of this movie. When I remember,
Right?
like, and it's not.
Right? The Skeletor masks in the beginning and the nun masks later on. There was a horror movie called The Nun that came out a few years ago. So there you go.
Yeah. So I didn't know anything about this movie. Thought I was watching a horror movie until pulled up the description before I watched it and saw that it was like a crime heist movie.
But, like, the poster does look like a horror movie.
Absolutely.
I'm holding it up, which I know is good podcasting things that Amanda and Jeff could see, but not anybody else.
Just, the fact that they're carrying like giant machine guns.
Yeah. Dressed in scary masks.
All right. So, Jeff, let's hear your score.
Okay. I find this movie to be incredibly fun. I think that for being a pretty simple concept, quote unquote, simple concept, I think it's executed very well. And I think it explores a couple of themes about not escaping your past and not escaping your community and being kind of dragged into the mud like that based on familial ties or whatever. I found pretty enthralling, and the action scenes are very well shot. I'm going to give this I'm going to go with a 4 for the town.
All right. And what about you, Ben?
Yeah, I also enjoyed this. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, and then it kept kind of going in slightly different places than where I thought it was going to go. Like I was like, oh, they like figured out who it was already, and oh, she knew the secret already. Like I thought, like I'm like that would have been an end of movie reveal, kind of, which we'll get into. But there were certain elements of the story I was more interested in than others. But overall, I found it enjoyable. I am also giving it a 4.
Nice.
All right. I overall enjoyed this movie. I think there were some things that I didn't love as much about it, and I think some of it's a little cliche-y, but I do think it's a pretty good movie. I'm giving it a 3.75.
Nice.
This might be one of our closer alignments.
Yeah.
I know, we're all pretty aligned.
I kind of guessed Jeff would be about where he was. I wasn't quite sure where he'd be, Amanda, with this.
Yeah, I thought you would like it, but I am a little surprised by the 4.
Yeah. I really was into like him keeping a secret from her and kind of like, kind of romancing her while also keeping the secret and like the elements that come with that. The fact that she found out so early, relatively speaking, to me in the movie, I thought was not where I was expecting it to go. And while I was more interested in that part, I also thought it was interesting that they didn't quite go where I wanted, not wanted isn't the right word, but where
Expected?
I expected them to.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, even if that part was the part I was most interested in, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it was really effective throughout the movie how he kept it hidden. And I just think back to the lunch scene when they're outside and Jem shows up, and he's
that
like,
was my favorite scene.
The level of stress I felt was like, oh my God.
And when he
Dude
takes
was
him, like clasps him on the neck to
Thought
cover
of.
the yeah.
I know. And him like poking and prodding. I think it's very funny that she never like actually outwardly said anything or was like, that's sus whenever Inspector Raleigh or Detective Raleigh or whatever his official title is at the FBI was asking questions, and she never like noted anything or said anything about whatever, like, actually he said this or that or what have you. But it was very funny, always the level of details that just kept her guessing the whole time, being like, oh, this thing, or oh, it means this. And how do you know this? Oh, I watch a lot of CSI, or oh, I just assumed you
and
prove
Bones.
right, and Bones.
There were multiple things I wrote down here that I was like, he's all red flags, run.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
His answers to some of her questions, I was like, girl, he's being so vague. And then and you still won't let me in your apartment? And I'm like, red flags, Claire, run.
Yeah. And also, like, this was this was not the era now of being able to look people up online, but it wasn't the 90s, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was,
yeah.
She could have probably done a little digging, and
like, for sure,
people were definitely Facebook stalking relationships by 2010.
Oh, definitely. Now, granted, I don't think it had left maybe the high school, college.
That's
circles,
true. That's true.
And had made its way
until
into
the Social
adult
Network came
space.
out 2 weeks later.
Right, exactly. And it was it.
That's true. But I still think, even if there wasn't as much social media, there was definitely still the ability to look people up online by 2010.
Oh, definitely. For sure.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I don't think Doug doesn't come across, neither does Jem, frankly, for that matter. Neither of them come across as people, though, who document their lives online.
That's fair.
Or have much of a presence like that. This was a case
she would have
where
found his dad for sure.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
point.
know. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
If she would have searched just like McRae,
His
like,
name, yeah.
Yeah, his dad for sure would have come up, and then she would have at least had questions about that.
I will say, I think it's probably a case where she's almost infatuated with him. She already mentioned before she was a toonie, quote unquote, as referenced by the kids that she volunteers with. And then here comes this guy who makes me feel comfortable, who makes me feel at home. And I've just also had the most traumatic experience of my life.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't care. It's okay. I'm happy right now. And that's fine. So I can push that all to the side. But
But there were, like you said, Amanda, there were red flags all over the place. And he was like, he wasn't even that smooth. Like,
no.
He was stumbling a little bit here and there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to mention, red flag on top of red flag here, their second date was at a Dunkin'. So clearly,
Well, it's Boston.
This is also true.
Before we get too deep into this, what do we feel about the Boston accent? Unless that's one of your top 4 things that's coming up at the end. Because it was coming on hard in this movie.
I'll save my thoughts. No, it's very funny how the characters, you can tell like who's really from Boston. Even like Jeremy Renner, like trying, he could like kind of get close or at least nail it. And then Pete Postlethwaite's character, the florist, is straight up from Ireland, or how he frames it. And then Ben Affleck just has it naturally. Rebecca Hall and John Hamm don't even really try.
No, John Hamm does not even try a little bit.
Not even try whatsoever. And
John Hamm is like always being Don Draper in some form.
Right?
Which is fair, because like you could believe that an FBI director maybe
Wouldn't
was
have been
like
from Boston.
Washington D.C. and was just placed in Boston. Like I totally believe that, so I was fine.
That's true.
I was fine.
Yeah.
I was listening to some stuff and podcasts about this movie, and in one that I was listening to, they were talking about an interview being done with Mark Wahlberg, and somebody asked Mark Wahlberg about Boston accents. I think it was either around this time with The Fighter or just before that with The Departed, asking about Boston accents on set.
I'm sorry, it's
what
The Departed.
Sorry, The Departed. And I think this, at least the way Mark Wahlberg put it, is probably the same way with Ben Affleck, is like, if you can't do it, don't do it. Don't even try. Now, granted, on The Departed, Alec Baldwin is trying and not really succeeding. I know that's on our list. That's a very funny movie to watch alongside of this. We should probably explore later on because that's having its 20th anniversary. But yeah, that is it's something it's unique to pull off.
Yeah, it's very distinct. And but like when you go to Boston, you hear it all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
like it is not exaggerated. Like I feel like sometimes a Southern accent or something, or even a New York accent, oh, I'm walking here, like you actually, probably because there's so many tourists, you don't actually necessarily run into people like that every time you go to New York City, but you walked into Boston and you are hearing that accent left and right.
Big time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I will say, so I was in Boston this past fall for a conference, and I was chatting with one of the convention center staff, and I'll talk more about him later. But we were kind of talking about the accent because he said his name was Marty. And I said, "Oh, thanks, Marty." And then he made fun of me and was like, "Marty." But anyway, so we were talking about the accents, and he did say that like it's kind of dying out. Like he was like, "Oh, a lot of the people that obviously the people that move here like don't know it." And he's like, there's only like a small, like basically saying like the older people still know it and do it probably like in certain regions, but it's not necessarily something that's prominent all over the city anymore like it used to be.
I believe that because we're much more interconnected and global in terms of content and what we're consuming and who we're interacting with.
Absolutely. Overall, I think the Boston accent is very obnoxious, but I love accents, and I don't know, I just love listening to people talking in it, even if it does sound silly sometimes.
It really places, like, it helps place the film very distinctly in Boston.
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously being filmed in Boston too.
Oh my gosh, the fact that they were able to film in Boston, set this in Boston, the way that it's done adds so much more to the movie and adds so much to it. I think, and maybe that's an appeal that I have to the city of Boston, which sounds bad to say as a Buffalonian, because we're supposed to be arch rivals in every sport that we play and everything, but it's something that appeals about Boston. It's that nature of having its sort of uniqueness. People are very proud to be from Boston. It has its own identity and has its own accent, frankly. We all can pick out the Western New York accents and everything, tied with our ties to Canada and the Midwest and everything. So, there's an appeal to it for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm proud of Ben Affleck for being as proud of Boston as I am of Buffalo.
He sure does love Boston.
He really does.
Sure does. And good for him. I mean, if you had the money and you were a director, you'd make movies about Buffalo.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not going to hate on any Bostonian. If they're like a Patriots fan or something and they're from there, like, fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay if you grew up there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you are a Patriots fan, but like, I understand it if you grew up there.
Yeah.
It's all the other people.
Well, you know who failed at a Boston accent miserably? Blake Lively. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't even realize that was her at first. I had to like look it up, and I was like, "Oh, that's Blake Lively." Was this like pretty early in her?
I have to think. Gossip Girl's probably has come out at this point.
She was in Gossip Girl. Yeah, you're right. Gossip Girl would have been before this. I always forget that's her too.
She was actually on New York Times list of worst casting choices for this movie.
She's not good in this.
No, not at all. She's not given much to work with, but she's not good.
No. And as far as what we're talking about performances, I don't really like I love John Hamm. I really do. But I need my John Hamm to be like one of two people, either Don Draper, not a version of Don Draper, but actual Don Draper, or just like a complete goofball like he is when he's on SNL or Kimmy Schmidt or something like that, where he's just off the walls bonkers. But a lot of like the variation of Don Draper, like playing a serious role but not being Don Draper, doesn't play that well for me with him. And I didn't really like him in this movie. I don't really like him in Your Friends and Neighbors, for the record.
Well, I have not seen Mad Men, so I cannot have my glasses colored by that. I love him in everything.
Well, then you are missing his best performance of all time.
Yeah, it's on the list. Eventually.
I liked him in this movie. I think it was an interesting sort of color to play and to frame as an FBI agent.
He wasn't like Blake Lively terrible, but like he was. I don't know.
It could have been played by anybody. I guess.
Yeah. He didn't bring anything. I guess that's what it is. He didn't bring anything special to the role.
Yeah. He was so young looking though. I was like, look at baby John Hamm. Probably because I'm watching Your Friends and Neighbors right now, where he's noticeably aged from this. Speaking of, since we're talking about performances, so I was telling Geoff this. I just cannot take Jeremy Renner seriously in this movie. And I said, this is totally a me problem. It's because I have 2026 knowledge of Jeremy Renner. And because of that, I cannot take him seriously in this movie. But had I watched it in 2010, I fully support the fact that he got nominated for an Oscar, etc. But I just personally can't take him seriously, knowing as much as I do about Jeremy Renner.
What about your 2026 knowledge of him makes you unable to take him seriously here?
Geoff, do you want to tell him about the app?
So I believe it. So let me make sure I get.
We need to turn the mic off for a minute.
So I have to get this right, and I do apologize. So there was an app created in like 2017, 2018 that was called the Jeremy Renner app. And it was his way or people's way to engage, for him to engage directly with fans and for fans to directly engage with him, where they celebrated days of the week like Happy Ren's Day when it would be Wednesday.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was shut down in 2018.
Stuff on the app, right? For like different, like he had his own money on there, like Jeremy Renner money that you could buy and interact with him. And I feel like he just got really weird.
I don't know how I never heard about this.
I think that Marvel money went to his head. I don't know. Something weird happened.
I was going to say, because
did you have the app?
No, but a podcast we listened to at the time, like talked about it all the time because it was just so wild. So yeah, that's how I know about that. But I think I did download it once because I was like, is this for real?
No, what's funny is that
Jeremy Renner official.
What's funny is that he had not been in the Marvel movies yet at this point. This is pre-Marvel. This is right around the time when he was arguably one of the biggest names in Hollywood with The Hurt Locker and The Town back to back nearly. So he's on top of the world.
The movie you're talking about.
Yes.
No, I thought you were talking about the app. I was like, he was definitely.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, I'm talking about the movie.
We're back to the movie.
We're back to the movie. I'm adding on to the story of Jeremy Renner.
The Renner lore.
The app was shuttered in September 2019 after becoming a hub for intense trolling, parody accounts, and bullying.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's what I've read. That's the information I just read.
Anyways, I encourage our listeners to do a deep dive on Jeremy Renner and
perhaps watch this movie first so you can enjoy him more.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. Don't tarnish your opinion of him if you have a good one.
I was going to say he got cast he did this after The Hurt Locker, and then he was cast in the Marvel universe as Hawkeye, and then was also brought into the Mission Impossible universe to potentially replace Tom Cruise. That didn't work. And was brought in to be almost like a pseudo replacement for Matt Damon in the Bourne universe. And as in like a spin-off movie, that didn't necessarily work.
It's like in our politics, the boomers want to just keep doing the same role.
I know, right?
There will be no successor.
Classic.
But on a more serious topic, this is Ben Affleck's second directed movie. And I think it was when Air came out a couple years ago. I did a deep dive into Affleck's directed movies because I hadn't seen anything outside of The Town. And I got to say, he is good. He is good behind the camera.
Yeah, there's some good directorial moments in this for sure.
We were when we talked in the Good Will Hunting episode about the script that he co-wrote, and then in this, his first movie, Gone Baby Gone, is amazing. I think it's even better than this. And both of them explore very similar themes, obviously taking place in very similar locations. That one takes place in Dorchester, which is near Boston. This takes place in Charlestown, suburb of Boston, or borough of Boston. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it.
Also, apparently very, very fake, that stat at the beginning.
Oh, I believe it. kind of have to play it up a little bit. But I did like the quote at the beginning that said, "I'm proud to be from Charlestown. Ruined my life, but proud of it." I feel like that is a very like born and raised town. I feel like people in Buffalo would say something like that.
Yeah.
So, and kind of a relatable point there. I think both those movies also explore themes around not being able to escape where you're from. In that movie, Dorchester is a hub for drug problems and drug addictions and the drug trade. This is the bank robbery capital of the world.
According to the film. That's the part
According to the film.
I read afterwards that like it's not even close to that. Like it's not even like a thing at all. And like some of the people in Charleston were a little annoyed that it got billed as such in the movie.
Maybe on a per capita basis, who knows? But so very interesting choices behind this. And then the very next movie he directs wins Best Picture. So Ben Affleck knows what he's doing.
You know, I feel like Ben Affleck gets maligned. Maybe this is sort of like we're talking about Jeremy Renner too, but he gets maligned partly because of his personal life and partly because of like some high profile stupid choices in some of his films. But like when he's on, he's very good.
He is
as an actor, as a writer, as a director. Like he's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, because
sorry, continue, Geoff.
No, because after sort of that period, I think it was between like 2005 and 2008 when he has his breakup with Jennifer Garner, the substance abuse issues, what have you, appearing in the news. He directs Gone Baby Gone. He directs this. He directs Argo. He stars in Gone Girl, and then he's cast as Batman. So
then he's back with J-Lo. Then he's out of it.
Then he's back with J-Lo.
So wait, what are his very like high profile missteps you were talking about, Ben? I don't know much about Ben Affleck.
I mean, I think there's obviously mixed reception to the Batman part of it, but I was referring mainly to what was it, Geely?
Yep, Geely.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
Which was his movie with Jennifer Lopez that was like an epic bomb, one of the biggest
disaster
bombs of all time.
Oh.
Yep.
When was that?
They were
a couple.
Still dating.
Yeah.
Oh, huh. Never heard of it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that I knew that they dated. I just couldn't remember when.
Well, they did twice. I mean, there was the
right,
the
pre-marriage
very recent one, right?
Yeah, but
they
then
were
also
together recently.
They were, yeah.
But yeah, so just not a great stretch there in sort of the early 2000s. Almost made like as a joke. It's one of those kind of things, and really needed to do a lot to come back around and prove himself again.
I mean, this was the example of it. Writing these movies, he was really writing off of his apparently personal experience of like, I'm trying to escape my past. I'm trying to escape Boston and my past mistakes.
There you go. It's a great connection there, Amanda.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Absolutely. Playing a sober bank robber who is, sort of straddled with the sins of his father and the feeling of debt he owes to people he lives close by. And clearly, as shown with the florist, he can't escape. It's impossible.
But he did.
But he did, because
shot him in the balls.
He just had to watch his friend die before he could do it.
Well, his friend was also an idiot, so.
Yeah, it seemed like an inevitable end for Jeremy Renner.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I think definitely by the point where he's in the shootout, like he wants to die, right? Because he's not going back to prison. Mm-hmm. So he's like, what choice do I have here but to just die?
And also he had the classic thing that happens in movies all the time where he's like shooting off like a machine gun and can't hit John Hamm going around the car.
Right.
You're telling me none of those shots hit him?
I know. At that point, it's like you gotta like stop, go the other way around the car to meet him head on. But also, you don't know,
like a regular gun. It was like
it's an Uzi.
Yeah,
it was an Uzi.
Like, my goodness. Come on.
Yeah, I was having the same thought. I'm like, dude, you just fired so many rounds.
You got nothing.
Nothing.
It's not even like John Hamm was like running. He was like going around the car.
Yeah, like trying to low crouch
right
around the car, which is not something you can do very quickly.
No.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, those weapons are hard to handle, I'm guessing, but
Like, I know.
So I have to say, okay, two things. One, the first is like just a little aside thing. I loved early on when they were in the bar or wherever, and you could hear "What You Say" playing in the background.
Yes, that was one of my notes. Yes,
Such a 2009, 2010 era.
Yes,
moment.
as soon as Krista shows up too, she's walking in and everything. You know,
I recently
little
texted
touch
one of my
video.
friends from college because I was on my Facebook memories, and there was a picture of her and a bunch of my other friends going to a Harry Potter concert, dressed in Hogwarts gear, and it was in a Facebook album called "What You Say." I was like, could they really be anything more 2009 than everything about this?
It's perfect.
I will never
Facebook albums,
delete.
Harry Potter, What You Say. It was just so time specific. I was like, could not be more 2009 if it tried.
I will never
for sure.
delete all of my Facebook albums named weird things and whatever. I love seeing memes about that where it's like Gen Z doesn't even know about going out on a weekend and uploading every single photo to a Facebook profile.
They're just like, they're all so bad, these photos.
Oh, this album has 107 photos.
And like 93 of them are the same thing. Like,
yep. Or it's just like a cup on the floor or like something. Somebody's hand, a blurred face.
Yep.
Love it.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
They have no idea, like the curation that goes into posting on Instagram now versus like literally let's just dump everything onto a Facebook album.
Well, now they like to take photos so that they are a little bit blurry.
Right, but it's all
Like-
still curated.
I know, but isn't
It's
that like
intentional.
so bizarre that they're trying to like recreate?
We did it for reals.
Yeah. The technology wasn't good enough.
And then like anytime you had like a night shot, like it was just, like you were outside, nobody could get good night shots.
Nope.
No, never.
Flash was awkward. The glare, it was bad.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, good time walking down memory lane.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Great song though.
Great song.
Also, flashback when they first break into the bank, and literally he says, "Everybody, give me your blackberries." Blackberries out, and I was like, 2010. I'm like, is that still the time when literally everyone had blackberries? I don't think so.
I feel like it might have been like the difference between when it was filmed and when it came out, honestly. Like
Yeah, it might be, but it did make me laugh that they were literally just like, blackberries out. Give me your blackberries.
I have an iPhone, sir. Oh, nobody cares about those.
Nobody cares. What's that?
I have a razor. Oh, you can keep that.
Do you think you guys? Well, I know Blackberries. They were like the first ones that had like the actual keyboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was like it wasn't like a touch screen. It was an actual keyboard.
Correct. Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Random thing. Do you think you could do T9 if you tried?
Yes.
Oh,
I could.
absolutely.
If you were handed a T9 phone, you think you could jump right in, or would it take you a second?
It might take me a second, but I think I'd get back into it
Like
pretty
riding
quick.
a bike?
By the first message, I'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I see like memes of it, right? Where it'll just be like it'll be like 7777, and people will be like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Okay, what?" It takes me a second, but I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get what you're putting down."
It was an era. It was an
What's
era.
the time? What a time.
Um,
The bank heist though in this movie, the three heists, so good, so well made, so well executed. Everything about them amazing. Established so much about the characters just in the little bits alone. The scene where they're driving down the street as the nuns, iconic.
Yes.
That whole scene, that whole heist there from the beginning when they're driving up to the truck in the nun outfits to the end when they finish, they get over the bridge and they end up back in Charlestown, and then they pull up next to the cop who just is like, "I want nothing to do with y'all," and turns around immediately. Like this is quality stuff.
I audibly laughed at that cop scene where they stood there looking at each other, and then we're just like, "Okay, okay, bye."
Bye. I want nothing to do with this.
Cop's probably like, "My shift is done in 10 minutes, and I'm not dealing with this shit."
One of the things that I like when it first happened in the movie was when I think it was in that lunch scene before Jeremy Renner's character comes over and she's like talking about the sunny day. And she's like, my brother died on a day like this. And I clocked that at the time being like, what a weird thing to say. Like I was like, she's just like such a depressing individual. Like you're sitting at this little lunch thing and she's like, oh, my brother died on a day like this. I hate sunny days. And I was like, that's such a weird, I don't know why it like really stuck out to me as a weird line, but then it came back at the end.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I totally clocked. I was right to clock that as a bizarre moment.
The same with his uncle, that when he mentions and they're kissing on the couch or whatever at her apartment, and he's like, my uncle lives across the street. Can we take this to the bedroom? And at the end of the movie, when she's on the phone with him, he's watching from his uncle's room.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Those
I
are
didn't
good.
catch that second one. I just thought he made up the uncle line to get her into the bedroom. Like I thought he was being funny. You know what I mean? Like, oh, someone could see in here, so let's go to the bedroom for more privacy.
I will say though, as Ben noted earlier on in this, he wasn't smooth at all. So I think this is a case where he's just like, I'm just going to speak my mind.
I mean,
in another world, they were just two really awkward people meant for each other.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, she was a little odd.
Yeah. Thoughts on oysters for the first date?
No, thank you.
I'm not an oysters guy.
All right. Fair enough.
I will say though,
when in Boston.
I guess at least get a lobster roll or some chowder.
That's true.
Maybe that's too stereotypical. Maybe it's a case
that's
where
true. Bostonians might not actually have.
Yeah,
they go for the oysters directly.
About to say, apparently Virginia oysters are a thing. So
I don't know. I feel like though those guys were wicked smart. I mean, I would like, especially the first heist and then like the second one too. I was continually impressed with the measures that they went through to cover up their crime. And this is coming as someone who doesn't watch a ton of like crime and heist movies, so maybe that's like pretty standard. But you know, when they're like, oh, you know, the first thing they do is take out the security footage things and then like nuke them in the microwave. I'm like, oh, what a great idea. And then they're like, oh, let's pour bleach all over everything. And I was like, oh, what a great idea. Oh, let's torch the car we were using. That sounds like a good idea.
let's go through all of the dollar bills to find the trackers and the ink exploding things. Let's wait until a specific time for when when we're not going to raise any concerns for trying to open this bank vault. So much of it is so well executed. Even with the second heist, and Dougie is like, I don't like it. This guard he's a little bit of a hero. He wears his vest on the outside. He tucks his pants into his boots and everything. And sure enough, when they go through it, the guy tries to pull a fast one in the driver's seat and comes out and he's like, I'm going to play hero. You aren't going to take this money, which, I mean, yes, ends up getting him killed, but causes problems for them the entire time. So,
yeah. No, he didn't get killed, right?
That's right. He didn't get killed. That's right. Because he crawled and they couldn't try him for, murder or whatever in the street. So that's right. In the interrogation scene. It's a good point.
Yep.
Even in the third heist too of Fenway Park, when they come into the building as cops, then they're dressed as EMTs, and then they're like, oh, they saw us as EMTs. Let's change back into being cops.
Yeah. Very smart.
Very smart. I love that
Jeremy Renner being a hothead who just wants to like use violence and kill everyone.
Right? Minus that.
There's always one of them.
Always.
Yeah.
Who's got that one distinct thing about him, of course, is like this is why we can't get tattoos. This is why I can't get tattoos, because when the day comes when I eventually need to rob a bank, people are going to mark me. They'll be like, I don't like that.
That's a pretty distinct feature too for people who are trying very hard to conceal their identity.
That's true. Like at least try to put like just some tape on the back of your neck or like, I don't know, put some like, what is it called? Foundation on the back of your neck.
Band-Aid.
Yeah, or Band-Aid, exactly. Yeah, who's his face? Marcellus Wallace. Or not Marcellus Wallace. Oh yeah, no, Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction. He's got the Band-Aid on the back of his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get cocky.
Did you feel like, the last thing I have is, did you feel like you were rooting for Ben Affleck to get away at the end?
I was.
Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to, right?
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, I think so too.
I think it's a case
Yeah.
of a guy who's reformed, relatively speaking, and is trying to escape. He just needs to find his way to do it. This was his way to do it. And
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
sympathize
I mean, I
with
think
that.
the movie definitely wants you to. I'm just curious
Yes.
if it was effective at that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he made it pretty clear that he wanted to get out of this game. And obviously for this last one, he was kind of forced to do it. But I was rooting for him.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to be with Claire. The fact that he was like telling Blake Lively, like, "Oh, I'm going away with another girl," and I was like, "Are you though?" Because like, I don't think she wants to run away with you to Florida anymore. Like,
No, certainly not.
Oh, not so much.
I was like, "Leave her alone," and he did. He did, but
Yeah, shout out to Krista for being the rat by the end.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Much like, who's his face? Was it Dino? Was the FBI agent who was born in Charlestown and ratted on everybody? Worked
Yeah.
alongside John Hamm's character? Yeah.
Dino the somebody.
Right? And as a born and raised Yankees fan, shout out to Fenway Park getting stolen from eventually.
Let's see. I had couple last funny things. I was just laughing at at Krista's daughter's name being Shine. And I don't know if you watched it with the subtitles on, Ben, but it was Shyne. And I was like, oh no.
Oh boy.
When we were talking about the red flags earlier, I forgot the biggest one, which was the one towards the end where Ben Affleck's "come with me and we'll get away," and then he's like, "There's some things you don't know about me." And he's like, "But do you still want to come with me?" And she's like, "Yeah, no, I know you." And he's like, "But no, for real, there's some things." I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Insane.
And then I also really liked when he was being not very smooth and he was trying to prove that he watched a lot of crime TV, and he just kept naming like crime TV shows.
Yes.
He's like I watched CSI and Miami CSI and New York CSI, and I think he named like one more.
He said Bones, and he's like, and
Oh,
Bones.
yeah, and Bones.
There you go, done.
Which have you watched the newest Jury Duty season?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some love for Bones in that.
There's a lot of love for Bones in that.
I was like, yeah, just keep naming TV shows. It's very convincing.
Well, one last thing I did want to bring up was the scene where, and this might be behind the second bank heist with the nun costumes, one of my favorite scenes of the movie, is when we find out that Claire's being harassed and Doug gets Jem and he's like, "Look, man, listen, I need you to come with me. I need you to beat up some guys with me. I can't tell you what's going on, but we're going to hurt some people." And Jem doesn't ask any questions. Nothing. Like, he just says, "Whose car are we going to take?" And then he shows up and naturally, of course, takes it way too far. And one of the lines he says, oh my gosh, it's so good. When he's interrogating the guy, like, "What'd you do to my friend, huh?" And the guy's like, "I don't know what's going on." He's so confused in the ground. And then he shoots him in the legs. And then the guy starts wailing around. He's like, "Oh, there goes college soccer." And just keeps me like, oh, it's so good. And then he proceeds to take off his goalie mask. He's like, "Hey, remember this face?" And I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing? Stop."
Yeah, I was confused by that, about how they could have possibly been so confident that those were the guys. Because Ben Affleck asks Claire, "Do you remember what they look like?" And we never hear her response.
Mhm.
But I feel like I'm very confident that she never could have given them a description well enough that they could have literally pinpointed them to this house and been like, "This is definitely these two guys sitting in this house right now."
I believe it's
That's
revealed
fair.
in the director's cut of this movie. I was seeing something about that. There is a whole extended scene like in between that where
that would
Doug
explain
does
it.
like some digging to figure out where these guys live or who these guys are based on like drug
Gotcha.
connections or whatever. So
That explains it. I'm glad they cut that because it's unnecessary ultimately, but
Mhm.
I was questioning how they could have been so certain. Because if you're going to break into someone's house and beat them up, like you want to be sure you're getting the right guys.
Yeah, you got to know.
It's just common courtesy.
Courtesy.
You don't just go through the phone book like Terminator and just
right.
Get all the people with the same name.
Exactly. All right. Either of you have any other final thoughts? All right. Geoff, let's hear your movie recommendations this week.
All right, so my movie recommendations. I've got 4. The first one is probably kind of the big bank heist movie of the last maybe say 40 years. Probably the most infamous one nowadays, and the one that is kind of set the standards based on the action sequences in that, Heat. And not too and it's pretty similar with this, with the De Niro character in that movie being like Ben Affleck, and the Pacino character in that movie being John Hamm. Them having a bunch of Val Kilmer being like Jeremy Renner in this movie. A lot of crossovers there, a lot of inspirations. That movie is awesome. Very similar kind of quality in my opinion, maybe a little bit better than The Town. Very entertaining. Next one is Boston crime movies. And I gotta go with The Departed, as noted earlier, celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, 20 years since it won Best Picture. And I find it to be so incredibly entertaining. I love that movie so much. Mark Wahlberg in that movie, genuinely a revelation.
Real quick side note, I wonder if The Town would have been an even bigger awards player had The Departed not been just a couple years earlier.
You know, that's a great question. I think the thing with The Departed that's a great question, because The Departed had so much going for it. It was Scorsese's quote unquote time. It had awards-worthy performances centered in that movie across the board. I definitely think, because this movie, The Town, was named, I believe it was, to the National Board of Review's top 10 movies of the year, which I forget what they were for last year, but it was, it's like, it's not a small list. It's one of those where it's like, and there's a pretty direct correlation between that list and what gets nominated for Best Picture. So it's very, very possible for sure. Because that year as well, The Fighter also came out the year, another Massachusetts-based movie which featured Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale, and that one was nominated for Best Picture and won 2 supporting performance Oscars. So, yeah, maybe that's what took The Town spot.
Maybe that was,
year.
yeah.
The third one is Ben Affleck's directorial debut, Gone Baby Gone, starring his brother Casey, and kind of features another story about a guy, and in his case, a couple who can't escape their childhood neighborhood and are kind of stuck where they are. In this case, they're trying to fight the problems that plagued it. And then the final movie, again, to tie back to my theme of trying to tie back movies from the 2020s, I'm going to recommend the movie Ambulance, directed by Michael Bay, starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Isaac Gonzalez. These two brothers, Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Jake Gyllenhaal, go to rob a bank because Yahya needs some money, and bank heist goes a little wrong, and so they need to use an ambulance to get away, which just so happens to have an EMT in it. And let me tell y'all, this is just a straight adrenaline shot to the veins of a movie. Michael Bay is just swirling a drone through Los Angeles. It is capital S sick. So probably that would be my last recommendation to pair with The Town.
Great. Thank you.
Great.
No, I just I'm recalling in my head the trailers for Ambulance.
Not a movie for you, Amanda?
No, not so much. All right, Ben, what are our TV recommendations?
All right, I've got, well, obviously there's the CSIs and Bones.
Obviously.
Which,
Obviously.
I was thinking, I don't think any of those, like CSI, 911, NCIS, I don't think there's ever been one in Boston. There's currently Boston Blue, which is a Blue Bloods spinoff, but of those, like, letter ones, NCIS and CSI, I don't believe anywhere in Boston. Anyway, I've got 2 others besides those. One of them I've not seen, but I immediately thought of it when I was watching this movie. It was a short-lived show on ABC in 2006, 2007 called The Nine. And it was, the premise was there were 9 people, mostly strangers, are linked together when they're held hostage in a bank robbery gone wrong. In each episode, viewers learn new details of the 52-hour standoff. So it was one of those kind of post-Lost kind of high concept TV network dramas that happened. I doubt we ever found out what happened because it got canceled, but I've always been a little curious about it. I've never watched it. The other one is a totally different type of TV show. Perhaps I've ever heard of it. I don't know. It's called Voyage of the Mimi. Has anybody ever heard of that?
Voyage of the Mimi. M-I-M-I?
M-I-M-I. It was a show that I watched in elementary school. And it was a science-based educational program. But a lot of it took place on a ship or visited places near New England and Boston and featured a young Ben Affleck as a kid.
Oh, there you go.
So there's the connection. And it had a great theme song. There were 2 seasons, I believe. The first season, so it would be like there'd be like a narrative story taking place on the ship, and then like the second act, yikes, it wasn't a musical. The second half was more like an educational trip somewhere. So like they go to like an aquarium and they learn about, that. So kind of pair the narrative with the nonfiction visit. And the first season, most of it was water-based, ship and whaling and that kind of thing. And a lot of the places they went, I'm looking at the list here, were in New England. The second season was called The Second Voyage of the Mimi, and that had to do with the Mayans. And they went like this, they were looking for like a lost Mayan city, and a lot of the nonfiction stuff had to do more with that side of things. And I remember I watched the original one in 5th grade and the sequel in 6th grade. And Ben Affleck is in both of them. It was from the 1980s. He was a kid. So there you go. Well, I remember watching it back, like when we watched it in 5th grade was the year Good Will Hunting came out. So Ben Affleck was like this hot new movie star, and here we were watching him as a kid on Voyage of the Mimi.
There you go.
Wow.
I doubt any
awesome.
kids still watch that in school, but it's definitely a thing when I was in school. I probably even showing how I'm older than you two, that but there we go.
That's okay. I mean, sometimes you just don't know shows.
Yeah, it's a deep cut.
Yeah. Thank you for your recommendations. So let's move into our top 4. Like I mentioned earlier, we're doing top 4 things about Boston. So Geoff, let's hear yours first.
Oh boy. So this one was a tough one for me. I wanted to have some fun with this too. So it's a combination of things.
Where did the Patriots rank and where did the Red Sox rank for you, Geoff?
There's going to be a sports one in here, I promise. So those are near the bottom of the list. But honorable mentions include the accents. Again, just you laugh about them, and it's a calling card to the area. The Tea Party that occurred there in 1773, because freedom, taxation without representation, man, get out of here. And then some of the movies that have taken place there. Again, I think it's a very distinct sort of tone and not too dissimilar from, say, like a Buffalo setting. And then last honorable mention, Chowder. Surprised it didn't make my list one though. But so my number 4 is a very specific one to me. It is the fact that Boston is home to the Sloan Sports Analytics Conference. Now, the Sloan Sports Analytics Conference is very specific to me. It is a conference held every year with MIT and ESPN, and is hosted in downtown Boston, bringing together some of the brightest minds in sports to talk about a bunch of different topics and ideas, specifically around the way data is used. It has since become a very mainstream conference over the last few years, and something that maybe I wouldn't be as enthralled by as I was when I used to go to them frequently. I think I've been there 3 times. Yes, 3 times. Last time I went was when I worked for the Commanders about 9 years ago. But this will always hold a place in my heart because the second time I went, I was recently let go from my first job out of college. I was trying to make a name for myself and made the connection that eventually got me my job in sports, and the rest is history. So that conference will always hold a place in my heart, because that's how I ended up where I am today. Number 3 is my sports one, my team-based sports one, and that is the fact that Boston was home to the absolute beatdown the Sabres put down on the Bruins in the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs in Boston, where they outscored them, quick math, Geoff, 13-3, went 3-0, and moved on to the second round of the playoffs, winning their first series in 19 years.
And by the time you're listening to this, who knows what will have happened to them?
I was going to say, we are recording this very far in advance. So we won't know.
Yeah,
It'll be a fun time
it's
capsule.
an innocent time right now. Who knows when we're listening? Maybe they'll be world champions.
Oh, you'll probably know if in June, if and when the Sabres do end up making or winning the Stanley Cup, I'm going to change our entire schedule to be a very hockey based schedule. Promise.
That sounds super fun.
Can't wait. Number 2 is Mike's and Modern Pastry. The two chains up in, I believe it is the north end of Boston. These two amazing pastry shops that make some amazing cannolis. I had the chance to go there last time we were there, and I forget how we found them or whatnot, but went to both of them, grabbed them both. So good. I keep thinking about them all the time. I love their cannolis. I can't wait to go back and try them again. And the number 1 is the beer scene, the micro beer scene, craft beer scene, however you want to call it, specifically Treehouse Brewing, Trillium Brewing, even something like Harpoon or Down East Cider House or the Boston Beer Company, you name it. I love it. So the beer scene in Boston is amazing. And one of my favorite memories of the last few years was Man and I traveling up to Boston to meet up with some friends. They were going to a beer festival, and we kind of tagged along with them, not actually going to the festival, but went to a couple of different places nearby. Just amazing. So that would be my favorite thing about Boston.
Great. Good list. Ben, let's hear yours.
All right. I have been to Boston twice in my life. I chaperoned a chorus trip there in 2012. And then my wife and I spent a night there on the way to Maine for a summer vacation in 2021. And I remember that was distinct because it was the first time we'd really been in a city since everything shut down. So this was kind of just when things were kind of opening back up more. And we went and spent a night in Boston on our way to Maine. So my honorable mentions: duck tours. Not the only city you can do them in, but they're a lot of fun there.
That's a good one.
And the Make Way for Ducklings statues, which are so fun. And there's some pictures of me playing on them on both visits. And
one of those Facebook albums that has a name in it.
In a Facebook album called, oh shoot, I was trying to come up with a good joke right off the fly there. It was
Ship It Up to Boston.
Yeah.
Or some
I was
song.
going to try to think of a song lyric from 2012 or something like that.
Oh, that should have been on my list. Darn it. I should redo my list, but no, that's okay. Continue.
What?
Oh, I'm Shipping Up to Boston. The song.
Oh, yes.
I love that song. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
This is not a Boston thing, but I had an amazing homemade Cheez-Its at a restaurant up there once. Really good. I don't think that's a Boston thing, but so I didn't put it on the list. But I couldn't tell you the restaurant, but it was so good. So good. All right. So my number 4, listen, I love Boston, but my number 4 is hating on the Patriots. It gives a lot of joy, to see them lose. Like, in some ways, like, obviously I'm a Bills and a Packers fan. Those are my top 2 teams, and I want them to win before anything else happens. But the third thing I want most often is for the Patriots to lose. And it gives me more joy than like, some winner in a Titans Colts game, like I don't, like it's just like the joy of seeing them lose. And, the Super Bowl this year, they shouldn't have ever gotten there. They didn't deserve to be there, but it was so delightful to see them get beat down by the Seahawks. It's just never not been fun to watch the Patriots lose. And at least for me, like the Chiefs have never taken over as the team I want to lose even more. I still really like the Patriots losing, even though they haven't been, until this past year, really competitive for a few years.
But I hate the fact that they're competitive again.
They're not, though. They were such frauds. They were such frauds. And this was even before the Mike Vrabel scandal. They weren't that good. They were just, I don't listen. I'm going to go down a weird tangent rabbit hole. I need to stop, but I just need to say that, like, I am never like one who's like, oh, they got lucky. I mean, you play your schedule, you get. I get that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to win the games that you're given. You can't dictate the schedule. And there's plenty of teams that lose games they should win. Both of my teams being teams that do that all the time, especially the freaking Packers. However, the like fawning over the Patriots for the kind of team they were when they were very clearly a flawed team. And if CJ Stroud had not melted down like an idiot in the divisional round, they wouldn't have even gotten past there.
Yep.
So, and then obviously they got the break with the Bo Nix thing, and then they were exposed for who they were in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Anyway, All right, number
Exposed.
3.
I
Number 3,
appreciated that. I appreciated that therapy
Thank you.
comment
Thank
up there.
you. Thank you. I
That was
feel
good.
better.
It made me feel very good. Please, it made me feel amazing.
But when they lost the Super Bowl after going undefeated in the regular season, my friend and I made 18-1 shirts and wore them around campus the next day.
Oh, beautiful.
Because there were a few annoying Patriots fans at my college, and they had to be put in their place. All right. Number 3, Geoff mentioned the Tea Party. I just put the history in general.
Yeah.
I think there's so much history up there, a lot of kind of starts of democracy, and especially as we're coming to an end in American democracy, it's nice to think back to where we started.
Oh.
But when you go up there and the Faneuil Hall and all those, there's just a lot of really cool historical. It's fun for me, at least, as someone who's very into American history, it's fun for me to think about those spots being the exact spots where all these people, spent
Definitely
time. Number 2 is Boston Commons / Boston Public Gardens. I think that is a really beautiful area. I've been to parks in other cities, Central Park, obviously, and other places. I think Boston Public Gardens and Boston Commons is to me like the nicest park within a big city. I think it's just so pretty. It's got such good views no matter where you are in the park. It's like it just feels very clean. It feels very nice to be in. The 2 times I've been up there, I've really enjoyed spending time in there. And then number 1 is Cheers, which the TV show was not filmed in Boston, but obviously is very associated with Boston. And of course, you can go to. There's both the bar that Cheers was based on, and then the one that has become like the Cheers tourism spot in Boston. When I think of Boston and media, that's the first thing I think of, even though it wasn't filmed there. So there you go.
nice.
All right. Good list. So I feel like my list is kind of similar to yours, Ben, but I took things very literally here. So I had 2 honorable mentions. One is Ben Affleck. Thanks, Boston, for giving us Ben Affleck, because he's pretty cool. At least
go watch
some of
Voyage of the Mimi.
And then the other thing is, like I was mentioning before, I just feel like when I was in Boston most recently, everyone that I interacted with that was from there was very, very nice.
Mhm.
Especially some of the older folks that worked at the convention center. They were very talkative. They wanted to talk to everyone and tell you about their lives, and like that they were retired police officers or retired, whatever. And
Verse.
yeah, retired bank robbers. And now they, love working at the convention center, where they get to drive the little golf cart around all day and take people from one side of the building to the other. They were just very,
Marty.
yeah, Marty, very pleasant to talk to.
Nice.
So in terms of, I've been to Boston a handful of times, maybe 3 or 4, between middle school to most recently, a couple months ago. And it's a nice place. I like it. I really don't, outside of the sports thing, I really don't have any qualms with Boston. I will say that.
I agree.
Yeah, same.
So I'm not going to harp on a lot of these, but number 4 is duck tours. Like Ben said, it's not the only place you can do a duck tour, but it's where I did my first duck tour. And when you're in middle school, it's just such a cool, I mean, it's still cool as an adult, but really like blows your mind. When you're younger, you're like, what is happening? So duck tours, number 4. Number 3, it's just like, again, like you were saying, Ben, the historic neighborhoods, I'm not someone who's very into history. I remember like, oh, this is Paul Revere's house. And I'm like, oh, cool. It's a house. But as an adult, I appreciate it a little more. And a lot of those older historic neighborhoods are very beautiful. And it's just fun to walk around in that area and see all of that. Number 3 is the public garden. Again, just beautiful space. What? Number 2. Sorry. Number 2 is the public garden. Beautiful space. Love little ducklings. I touched a squirrel in that garden. Or the squirrel touched me. Do you remember, Geoff?
I think you touched the
Was there
squirrel.
consent?
I don't know. I can't remember if he touched me or if I touched him. Either way, I freaked out because I touched a squirrel.
That's right.
So that will always be very memorable to me. And then number 1 is Quincy Market, which, you know, I always enjoy a food hall for sure, but also memorable because when I went there in middle school was with my steel drum band and we played steel drums in front of Quincy Market.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my very Boston list. If you're going to go visit, do all those things, I guess.
I was about to say, you guys had very nice lists about sort of what to do in Boston. And then there's me. Guess what? Your sports teams lost to ours.
I love that you're like, oh, I'm going to have a sports one in there. I was like, what Boston team does he like? And no, it was the Sabres beating down the Bruins.
Also, go ahead, Amanda.
Oh, I was just going to say, also shout out to the Boston Science Museum. I
Oh,
haven't been in a
yes.
long time, but I remember it being one of the coolest science
We
museums I've
went
ever
there
been to.
on the field trip or on the when I chaperoned. Yeah, that was a fun place.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, very important. I do have photo proof. The squirrel touched Amanda. Amanda did not touch the squirrel.
Ha ha ha. I got touched by a squirrel. Yeah, it was a very momentous day. I think I was just like chilling and I saw it and it just started walking towards me. And so I crouched down and kind of like stuck out my hand and it approached and touched me.
Because Bostonians are so friendly.
I guess. But then I was like really nervous it was going to bite me because I didn't have any food.
That's fair.
So thought it was going to seek revenge. Well, that brings us to the end of our episode about The Town. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you'd like to watch along with us for next week, we will be watching Arrival. So be sure to watch that, or at least just tune in and hear what you have to say about it.
Our second straight Jeremy Renner movie.
Oh, yeah?
There we
He's
go.
in that one too?
Surprise.
Friend of the pod.
We'll have to earn some Jeremy Renner money on his defunct app. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a rating or review, and be sure to follow us on all our social channels. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see y'all next week.
To infinity and beyond!
Why so serious?
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.